All right, let's talk about a La Liga match that, on paper, looked like a classic David versus Goliath story. But trust me, it had a twist that had everybody holding their breath right until the very end. So heading into this game, Barcelona wasn't just playing well, they were an absolute force of nature. They were riding this incredible wave, winning their last 7 league matches in a row. Seriously, they looked completely unstoppable. And where was this all going down? The legendary Spotify Camp Nou. Their opponent? Osasuna, a team from the other end of the table, basically fighting for their lives. You'd think this would be a pretty straightforward day at the office for Barça.
And when you actually look at the standings, that gap between them looks more like a canyon. You've got Barcelona sitting pretty at the top, gunning for a title. Then you have Osasuna way down in 16th, just trying to avoid that dreaded relegation battle. Everything, and I mean everything, pointed to one outcome.
So, the whistle blows, and the game starts just like everyone predicted. Total Barcelona domination. But as the minutes kept ticking by, something just felt off. The one stat that matters most, the score, was telling a completely different story. I mean, just look at this possession stat. It's insane. Almost 80%. Osasuna could barely even get a touch of the ball. Barcelona was basically living in their half. But Osasuna had set up this deep, defensive brick wall, and it was proving unbelievably tough to crack. And the pressure was just relentless. 24 shots to 3, 14 corner kicks. It was a complete siege. But between Barca's finishing being just a little off and Osasuna's goalkeeper playing the game of his life, making 5 massive saves, the ball just would not go in. So, with all of that attack, all that possession, all of that non-stop pressure, you'd expect the floodgates to have opened by now, right? You'd be thinking it was 3 or 4-0.
Nope, 0-0. We're 69 minutes into the match and it's still scoreless. You could literally feel the frustration crackling around Camp Nou. The clock was suddenly Barcelona's worst enemy. Was this really going to be the day they dropped points?
And then, just as that little bit of doubt starts to creep in, the whole story changes. See, in moments like these, with this much pressure, you need a hero. You need someone to just step up and change the game. So, the first half came and went, nothing. The second half starts, and it's more of the same. More pressure, more frustration building up. And then, we hit the 70th minute. The moment that everyone in that stadium had been praying for.
Finally.
The breakthrough. The dam is broken. Raphinha, after banging on the door all game long, finally kicks it down. The sound of relief from the home fans was just massive. The hero had shown up, and Barcelona, at last, had their lead. And you know, as soon as that first goal went in, the whole feeling in the stadium just shifted. All that tension, gone, replaced with pure joy. But Barcelona wasn't finished. Oh no, they wanted to make absolutely sure these 3 points were staying home. Raphinha wasn't just happy breaking the deadlock, he wanted to smash it to pieces. So 16 minutes later, as Osasuna was trying to push forward for an equalizer, he strikes again. A perfect finish to clinch the win and put the game to bed. What an incredible match-winning performance right when his team needed him the most. And there you have it, the final score. Barcelona 2, Osasuna 0. A scoreline that, in the end, actually reflects the dominance they had, even if it took them a wild 70 minutes to get there. So, okay, a win's a win, but what does this really tough victory actually mean in the grand scheme of things? You know, for the La Liga title race. Why was this so important?
Well, it means Barcelona now sits on 43 points, and crucially, it extends their lead over their biggest rivals, Real Madrid. It gives them some much-needed breathing room and puts all the pressure right back on everyone else trying to catch them.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? First, Barcelona's winning streak shows they are the real deal, a true title contender. Second, Raphinha proved that he can be that guy, the difference maker. And finally, and maybe this is the biggest lesson, this game was a perfect reminder that all the stats in the world don't mean a thing if you can't put the ball in the back of the net.
Which kind of leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? With a lead like that, with this unstoppable momentum, and with players stepping up to be heroes, is it too early to say that this title is Barcelona's to lose? I guess we'll have to wait and see.